Hey everybody, Mike here. I've got an exciting update about the STARLINK beta coming up. So I woke up this morning with an exciting email from STARLINK sitting in my inbox. Before I get to that email, I just want to give you a quick update on my channel. So I'm just getting started. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, in this channel we're looking at the impact of commercial space on people. Specifically, I'm looking at the STARLINK internet constellation from SpaceX. I'm trying to understand how it works and how it's going to impact people's lives. To understand it, I'm starting by building my own ground station from scratch to receive signals from STARLINK. These are the same steps someone might take if they were trying to hack the STARLINK constellation. And what better way to understand something than to think about it like a hacker would. So if you haven't seen my other videos, take a look. You might see me waving around an antenna. This is me starting off the process. I'm working step by step to receive signals, initially from not STARLINK, but some amateur radio satellites to prove out my technology. I've got videos on the software I've written to track satellites in orbit. So check out all of those if you want to understand more about how STARLINK works. And if you like this kind of stuff, definitely subscribe and get all my latest updates. Okay, on to the email. So in my inbox, an email from STARLINK, they're now starting to invite people to enter their actual service address. If you remember, or if you've seen from my other videos, STARLINK launched a website where you could express interest at the last STARLINK launch. So this was where you could enter your email address and a zip code or postal code to express interest. They said they were going to use that zip code to understand where you were and give you updates about beta opportunities in your area. So today, they've now extended that, asking for actual address information, so much more specific locations, again associated with the service address where you actually want to install the STARLINK user terminal. So I'm going to show you that in just a second. There have been reports that this email has only gone out to people in the northern United States and in Canada. If you've if you've signed up for updates and you haven't got this email, that's really interesting to understand where you are. Let me know in the comments. If you've signed up and you did get the update email, again, let me know where you are, and we'll try to get an idea if this is just limited to the northern United States and Canada, where Elon Musk has said coverage will initially start for the private beta, or if this has gone out to everybody, just looking for that more extra information. Okay, so let's take a look. So this is the email here showing. You can see it's to the registered email address, and now it's asking for more details on the address. They also say specifically that the private beta is beginning this summer, with public beta to follow. And again, they're looking for beta testing opportunities near your area. So definitely the choices of the beta testing locations are going to be area specific. There's some question about how they're actually going to do that. There's two sides or two schools of thought, if you will. One is because they've said that the system initially will be targeted at rural areas. The first theory says that they'll try to spread out service across the coverage area in these rural areas only, so that only those people will have access to the beta and they'll provide feedback on their service. The other school of thought is that they might do that, but they might also want to add in a sense, stress conditions or non-optimal conditions for the service. So maybe in certain areas, they will actually have a much denser customer base. So they'll encourage people to have their user terminals much closer together, maybe in a city or just lots of people in the same rural area. The idea being that then they can understand how the system behaves in those more dense regions. All of this could be useful for understanding their service. Maybe they're trying to extend out beyond what they can reproduce themselves on their own test installations. trying to understand more what it would be like in the real world in these varying conditions. Frankly, at this point, we don't know. So let's go in and update my address. You can see here on the screen, this is the update page when you click on that update link. What they're asking for is for the service address associated. So it remembers your email, and they're just asking additional details on that service address. Now, zip codes and postal codes, they give you an idea of the region. Now they're looking, in a sense, at specific civic address, so where your house or location actually is. This will give them much more detailed information on where you are and allow them to implement those private beta policies or deployment patterns like we just talked about. Another big update, on their website, they've now added a sign-in page. I've got a screenshot of that up there now. So you can see this is a customer login page where you can log in using an email address and a password. So specifically, this is some kind of customer login page for STARLINK. Presumably, this is where they would manage billing information. This is where you would manage if there are service quotas, you'd manage your quotas, how much data you're using, that type of thing. I imagine they're going to design the system to have as much information available to the customers self-serve, including probably a lot of information on how to set up the user terminals, how to test connectivity of the user terminals. Like I said, they've stated that they're going to try to optimize this service for users to be able to install and manage it themselves. So I imagine they'll also have diagnostic information on how much signal they've got in these initial stages where coverage might not be complete, maybe even forecasts of times when there might be outages. Probably a lot of interesting information here. People have tried putting in their email address into the forgot password just to see if they can get access that way. As far as I know, nobody has. I imagine they've built the system securely, or at least I hope they have. But definitely positive signs that this beta is getting closer and closer to actually happening. Another big unknown of the private beta, we don't know whether private beta participants will be able to say that they're private beta participants, or what information they'll be able to share about the private beta. So I'm telling you today that, as far as I know, I'm not a member of the private beta. I probably won't give these kind of updates in the future. In case I am part of the private beta, I might not be able to say that I am, but rest assured, if I can tell you, I'm going to share as much as I can, videos, pictures of the terminal, installation, speed tests, the works. If I'm not allowed to share the information, I'll definitely share as much as I can, subscribe to get all the updates. And even if I'm not allowed to share, I'll definitely record as much information as I can. And then if they lift the embargo and allow people to share, I'll be able to post those videos so you'll be able to get all that information as quickly as possible. And as well, if I'm not part of the private beta, but you are, if you're allowed to tell me about it, definitely let me know. I'd love to talk to you and understand more about your experiences and how the private beta process is working. So, thanks everyone for watching. See you next time.